It
Good
says
on
it's
time. Yeah, or wait 1 minute and then we'll go live.
yeah. Well, it's going. It takes a few seconds to
Oh,
set up
does it?
anyways. Yeah, and yeah, it's going right now. I need to make sure I mute the audio from. There we are. Right, we're good.
We are good.
Well, I think yeah, we are good. Yeah, something like that. How are you, mate?
I'm excellent. I have
Super.
lots of questions for you because I'm super curious about like what your plans are even with this video, because this is going out live now, but you had a video this morning that I haven't seen yet,
Uh-huh.
and which was from yesterday, and then
Yeah.
today's arrest stage for you. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe I'm
No,
jumping
no,
in
you're
too
right.
quickly here.
It's bang on.
What's going on? What's the plan for the videos?
It's confusing
Is
with the
it two
videos.
videos today and nothing tomorrow?
Yeah, it will be, won't it? Yeah, yeah, it will be. I mean, one of the nicest things today is not been making a video.
Good.
I have to say, it's been really nice not to have to shoot anything and edit it. And when I finish with this,
Yeah.
I'm going to go and sit in the lounge and do nothing. And I thought the rest
Good.
day was going to be an actual rest day, and I've ended up doing probably more stuff today than I normally would. Um, yeah, but that's okay. I went to the osteopath earlier, and it was quite nice to go in there and kind of go, I feel all right,
Good.
and just get him to work me over. And what else have I done today? Just more shopping, ordering stuff like gels, and getting some
Okay.
more stuff from the supermarket, and washing the bike because yesterday was super wet, and also just putting the new gearing on it. For I thought the last two stages of the next block are in Brecon with the really hilly stuff. So I changed the cassette today rather than waiting until I go over there. So
Okay.
new chain, new cassette. Yeah. So all
Did
the
you
stuff
spin
that
out
like
the legs? Spin out the legs at all
yeah,
today?
yeah, I did about 40 minutes, I think, and it felt really good actually. It felt nice
Did it?
not with the greatest respect to everybody that's ridden with me. It felt nice not to be riding with anyone, and
Yeah.
it felt nice not to be riding with my Garmin bleeping and telling me to go left and right.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, it was just nice to get out and just ride and not have to think I've got to be on this bike for between 4 and 6 hours today.
Right.
So it was good. Yeah, it's been a good rest day, but I'm looking forward to actually getting to the rest bit.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering that too, like logistics wise. I mean, this whole thing is like, yeah, there's a tremendous amount of biking, but the logistics of everything is what's amazing. And maybe it's true with the Tour de France too, right? Like we only watch the race and we see the racing and we see the drama and like that's what we're all tied into.
Yeah.
But like it's a moving there's thousands of people involved and there's like trucks getting stuck in the road and
Yeah.
there's all these little things in it. You always have the parade before the tour and it's all of that stuff is getting moved to all these locations and towns and getting set up. And it's like the logistics of everything might be more amazing than the tour. And we don't even know it. So
yeah, I reckon it is. I mean, I've been watching it for 30 odd years, and
yeah,
you see what you see on TV, even if you're watching the full stage without, from before even kilometer zero to the end, you don't see. You're only seeing like a fifth of what's really going on. And we went to the tour in 2018, and I was absolutely blown away by how much stuff goes on there. It's like a move. It's not even like a moving village. It's like a moving city. It's insane.
it's
The amount
huge.
of infrastructure. It really is. Yeah, and
And
you
it
know,
probably
there's all
gets
these.
bigger every year because
I guess so.
I watched the tour on site in like before I was into cycling, like 2001 or something. But that's, Lance Armstrong was there, but it was like, that was so long ago. I imagine it got huge and then maybe things are different with COVID too. Right. So
yeah, from what I know from some of the journalists that are working on it, so many of them are working remotely this year. So a lot of the TV broadcasters would the whole thing would be on site and traveling with them. And a lot of the TV stations have just got one or two people on site now doing the live interviews in the mix zone. And everything's being broadcast from either back in the UK or wherever the host nation is. So I think, what did they say on ITV the other day? They've gone from, I think, having 9 containers of commentators down to 3. So that's quite a lot, sort of less. But I tell you what was cool that I saw the other day that I've never seen in my life. I've always heard them talking about in the mountain stages, obviously the climbers are are what we want to watch because they're the magnificent climbing and everything else. But the gruppetto, the sprinters and the guys that just can't hang on, and all the domestics that aren't the climbers, they get into a big group at the back and they just ride. They literally ride to the cutoff zone. There's always a couple of them in the gruppetto who are really good at calculating how slowly they can make the cutoff. And so they climb really steadily, but because they're sprinters and really good TTers and stuff like that, their descending skills are way better than the climbers who are super light. So I've always wanted to see the descending, and then them racing through the valley. And they haven't shown any of that. But what I did see the other day, which I've never seen before, is the gruppetto come over the finishing line. And they were all wearing like random rain jackets, and they were just chatting and there was like Cavendish riding with Sagan. Well, maybe not with Sagan because they don't get on so well, but they were just chatting away, and they looked like they're having a whale of a time. They were about 25 minutes behind the winners, Yeah, it was pretty bonkers.
It's like a totally different race back there, or not even a race. It's like a ride.
Yeah, it's like a group ride. That's what I've been doing. I'd be in the gruppetto, just chilling along, chatting and eating gels and eating croissants. And
speaking of gels and croissants and things like that, tell me how your personal nutrition stuff is going.
I guess all right, because I haven't had any problems. So
that's a lot of sugar and stuff in your system. And maybe let's comment on YouTube. I think I commented on one of the videos. It's like science and sports stuff. I like that stuff a lot. I think you had picked up a variety pack, and that's what I like to do also.
Yeah.
And I think it's like more liquidy. I think it works really well. It doesn't give me like the gut bomb stuff of just some of the normal gels, but you're mixing it up. Right.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on the SAS stuff. I actually don't like the taste of them very much. I prefer like the Talk gels and the Goo gels, just because they're kind of a little bit thicker and you feel like you're getting a bit of a treat. But exactly that. I don't find that they have a problem with my stomach, and you don't need the water with them because they're isotonic. So I don't feel like I'm having to use water to make the gel work, if that makes sense. So that kind of works hand in hand. But I mean, I think people get it wrong a lot of the time. I learned this when I was doing ultra marathons, I guess like 5-6 years ago. That gels are for really that, once you get into that glycogen thing, you're replacing that glycogen that you're burning, but that's only above a certain threshold. And for the majority of the rides that I'm doing, I'm actually kind of, well, you wouldn't think it to look at me, but I'm burning fat. And that's my main sort of source of fuel, really, because I'm not really going that on the flats. I'm going fast as I can. As fast as I can manage, but on the climbs I'm not, because I'm still like 100 kilos. So if I ride the climbs like I ride them on a Sunday with the club, I'm not going to make it past 2 days of riding like that. So I'm just like getting in my lowest gear and spinning up there, and what's fueling that is the fat. So I'm having these little muffins that you can buy. They're tiny, about 50-60 calories each. So on the hour I have a gel, half past the hour I have a muffin, and then I got like a carb drink, a bottle of carb drink and a bottle of water. And then when I go to Brecon, because there's a lot more climbing, so there'll be more intensity up in that glycogen range, I'll have another gel. I'll break it into 20-minute blocks rather than 30-minute blocks. So I'll have gel muffin. That should see me through. I haven't had any issues yet. I think the closest issue I've had has been running out of water. On one of the stages out the last 9, we were about 25k from home, and there was an opportunity to stop for water, and I didn't, and I should have done that, because 25k is still an hour, isn't it? So it's enough time to run out of water. And other than that, it's been all right so far. I mean, I'm carrying a lot of fuel on me.
Have you I don't know, I think you're doing everything perfect, but I also have you set reminders to take, or do you just kind of look like that's about a half an hour right there, that's the hour, or you're not staring at your
I haven't missed I have I haven't missed a feed yet. No, I mean, and also
more things beeping at you.
No, definitely not. No, exactly that. I've got like it's telling me where I'm going anyway, because I don't know all these routes. So I've got it telling me directions, and I don't need any more distractions really. But I'm pretty good with stuff like that. I don't know what's made me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like teaching, you know, I'm constantly thinking about where I am and how to kind of pace the next hour and a half or whatever, and thinking, oh, you know, I'm kind of used to clock watching. So,
Yeah.
and more often than not, a funny thing, it's a bit like with cadence and power, isn't it? I don't know if you find this. I bet you do, because everybody I speak to has the same thing, where they go, they'll be riding and they'll think, right, I bet I'm doing 240 watts at 85 RPM. And you look down and it's almost always exactly what you think it is. And it's the same with the gels and stuff as well, that I'll be riding along and I'll think, oh, I'm probably due a gel, and I'll look down and it'll be like 2 hours and 59 minutes or something, you know.
But
so
I think you get that from repetitive, you know, the repetition of doing it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, like, for you, you're like, yeah, it's time for a gel, because you've been doing it. And I didn't know how much you did it in training, because that would definitely help, like, translate to that kind of internal clockwork of like, boom, this is the time. Or maybe now that you've been at this a week, like, yeah, you've got it now. Like, the nutrition needs to come at these times.
No, it's 6 months of it. Yeah, it's 6 months of doing it. I think that's, well, actually not 6 months. That's a lie, because like the first 2 or 3 months was on the turbo to try and get intensity. But yeah, it's 3 months of it. Every ride I've been doing really over in the last 3 months has been kind of between, you know, 3 and 5 hours. So I just tried it then and it worked, and I've stuck with it. So
I think that's awesome, because it's like, yeah, we're training our body to do the activity, but there's also this like, oh yeah, you have to train yourself for the nutrition part. And part of that is the timing of the nutrition. It's like those little things that you're doing, but you don't think about it in such a way. I think it's good. I think it's good for me to hear that, because like right now I'm in a stage where I just like go ride and I bring some water, and, you know, you don't think to yourself like, okay, you know, this is an opportunity to train yourself for, you know, whatever XYZ event.
Yeah.
But, you know, and for me, it's like, maybe it's, you know, a century ride or something like that, which you did do. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah, no, 3 days. 3 days ago.
Rest day. Yeah, 2 days ago. 3 days.
Now,
some days ago.
That was the longest ride of the tour.
Yeah.
For you, and for, you know, it was the longest
and
day
the pros,
on the tour. Yeah. You made it through that. Looked smooth from what I saw on, you know, everything. But does that give you some relief looking forward? Like, hey, the longest day is done. I mean, I know there's some hard climbs left, and you have some choices there.
There's still some long days. Let me have a look. So there's still 3 more days that are like over 120k. Friday's 136k, and you know, that's still quite a long way. And that one, they're not particularly flat. They're what is it? That's like 1,000 meters of climbing. That's not too bad, actually. That's not so bad. Not over, you know, 1,000 meters of climbing in 80 or 90k is significant, but over 136k, it's not so bad, because it's more going to be, you know, undulating. But yeah, it does. I'm glad I got that one out the way for sure. And it wasn't so bad. I mean, 100 miles it's never perfect, is it? And the last, I think me and Sam, who was riding with me that day, we both went through this kind of flat spot at around about like 115 to 125k. I think there's just that bit where you kind of go, oh man, there's still like an hour and a half, 2 hours to go, and we stopped briefly to have a stretch and get our shoes off. It was quite a hot day, so we took our shoes off just for like 5 minutes and just had a stretch and had a drink, and then we pushed on, and it was absolutely fine, if I'm honest with you. But
that's awesome.
Shit, man, there are people watching. Is there questions? The timing and regularity of eating is so important. Yeah, it is. I think, like, not even to the point of trying to be overly scientific about it. I don't think, like, it's just being sensible, isn't it? And kind of going, well, if you're training for something long, then just try like 1 gel an hour to begin with and see how your gut takes it. Because I know when I first started using gels, you know, way back, the first one I had, it kind of made me want to stop and throw up straight away, because my stomach wasn't used to taking it on. So just trying to actually kind of just start trying something. It's a bit like making videos on YouTube, isn't it? It's like, you don't get it right to begin with. You just have to hit record, export it and upload it and get it done. It's the same. You take some food out, you take some banana. I don't
Yeah.
deal with bananas very well when I'm riding. That really
Okay.
upsets my stomach. And
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone would be like, "Are you a real cyclist if you don't eat bananas while you ride?"
I don't even like them. I don't even like
That's
bananas.
awesome. But they're so they're so efficient for cycling. It's their, you know, they're in their own case. You're ready to go.
True. That is true.
But no, I think that like you said, experiment with gels, because there may be some that work for you and there may be some that definitely do not work for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's kind of a personal thing.
I agree.
But you know, definitely the concept of training your gut is real, and it sounds to me like you've got something right now that's working. So, have you done any? You know,
yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's you know, when I get home,
yeah,
I'm like, I know I need to eat some proper food now. So like in the morning, if I get up early enough, because most of the rides are starting about 9:30. So if I get up early enough, I'll have some brown toast because I know I can get that fiber in. Anything after like 2 hours before the ride, I'll have some white toast because I know that, you know, the fiber's not going to do me any good whilst I'm out riding. But as soon as I get back, it's get some like white goods back on board, you know, some pasta, some rice. But then in the evening, it's about kind of going back to like whole foods and stuff like that your body can process slowly and get all those nutrients back in. So it does change throughout the day, you know, like sort of immediately before and immediately after the ride, I'm just trying to get sort of simple stuff on board, and then in the evening just trying to get the vegetables and the proteins and the chicken and stuff. I do have a protein drink when I get back, but you know what, I wonder how much of that is like they taste so good, like it's almost worth riding to have that when you come back.
You can totally get, like, I used to, you know, after each long run, I would just come back and just crave that protein drink, like a cold protein drink. And I was like, oh man, this is, I don't even know if it's good or bad or whatever. Like, it's just like such a treat after a hard workout. But
it is.
I think there's real value there. I mean, you're doing the work, you're getting, I mean, I personally think that you're going to be fitter after this 3 weeks than ever. It's just, so there's huge value to this. And I don't even think it's like necessarily like this magical protein mix or whatever. I think it's the work that you're doing. But I'm curious to see, like, you know, granted, you're going to take a break after this, but how are you feeling? Do you feel pretty good 1 week in? Are you nervous about the next week? Like,
I am definitely nervous. Yeah. So I over the 9 days, I've been fine. I've been fine. Like the training's worked and it's been fine. I've had some really dark moments, but they've been relatively brief. I'd say stage 2 scared the daylights out of me because that was so tough. We had this 30km/h headwind for 60k. And then when we got up to the bridge that goes to Wales, they'd even closed like the northbound side of that, or sorry, the upstream side of it, because it was so dangerous and that was really tough. And then I was panicking, thinking that was going to really impact, you know, the rest of it. But and then the back end of the 100-miler, and then the first bit of the day after that, they were a struggle. But everything else has been okay. And I can't speak as somebody that's had a child, obviously, but I always think of it as like, you know, it's the most pain you can possibly go through, and yet we keep going back and doing it again because your brain goes, that wasn't so bad. So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow now, even though like I didn't want to get on the bike. Like when I got back yesterday, like the thought of getting on the bike every day I've got back and thought, I don't want to get on the bike again. And then the next morning it's like, let's go. So it's totally not linear. This is probably the thing that surprised me the most. I expected it to be like stage 1, stage 2, all that, and just getting more and more tired. Right. And it totally hasn't been like that. It's been like some days I've been amazing, like flying and towing people along, and sitting there doing like 34k an hour on the front, going, come on, you know, keep up, sit on my wheel, and just like smashing it. And then the next day I've just been in bits for like 20k, and then all of a sudden I felt great. And now when you sort of hear the pros kind of going, oh, I had bad legs today, or I had good legs today, or you kind of go, I get it. Like it actually makes some sense now. I can actually relate to that in a
that's nice.
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? Like it is a strange one.
I actually thought like a day like yesterday might be where you're starting to really click, and like that's when you're like, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. Like you're almost
Mm,
scared to admit like how good you're feeling, because you have had quite a few days and you've got a couple miles in your legs, and it's just, I find that, you start to get into that groove, but maybe it's more wavy, like you said,
it is.
where, there's just going to be not even like good days and bad days, but good hours and bad hours.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And when you're watching something like the tour and you see someone like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to talk much at the minute because I'm still kind of like I'm reeling from all this at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to really get my head around what's going on with that. But when you watch those other riders and they take a bit of a dig on a hill, like Carapaz or something, and he
Right.
kind of has a little dig, and then somebody bridges up to him, and then they're able to go past him a bit, and then he's able to hold the wheel for a while, and then they start to, and you kind of go, man, I can really relate to this,
Mhm.
especially if you know you're riding as well as they do, and they're kind of they're thinking, oh, there's a steep section of say 10% coming up, and
Yeah.
I've noticed as well that uh, I'm better on certain gradients than others,
Yeah.
and I can pull better on sort of 3 to 5% or something, because I'm a stronger kind of TT type rider.
Yeah.
Um, I can sit on the front of a group of climbers, no problem. The minute it goes up to like 5, 6, 7%, I'm just gone. Like I'm just shelled out the back. Um, so it is a really straight, but it has given me a massive insight into kind of those pros and and I mean, I'm not one, I'm a million miles away, but that has given me a greater
But you're
insight.
doing, in my opinion, like you're doing a grand tour. I feel like it's just like the experience of a grand tour. It's just so,
Mm,
I mean, granted, you don't have a parade in front of you, but at the same time, like it's still this like daily
mm,
grind. And I think it's such a cool challenge that you've got
it
here
is.
going. I'm
We'll
super
see.
impressed. I mean,
Got to try
you
and get through
definitely,
it.
it's inspiring. Like you just want to like, it's like, oh, I really want to do something like that. Like, it's just, I'm sure everyone that you chat with is just like feeling the same way, where it's like, that
Most people are
is,
just going, I would never, ever, ever do anything like
I
that in
don't
my
know.
life.
It's just such a cool thing. I think it's because we watch, we're psyched about the tour. It's very fun to watch. And
Mm.
you're always like, well, what if I was a Grand Tour
That
rider? And
that's
it's such
it.
a cool
Yeah.
thing.
It's funny because of my day job, like as a drummer and stuff.
Yeah.
You chat to people and stuff. They go, "Oh, I used to play guitar. I used to play drums at
Yeah.
school." I always wondered if I could have sort of made it as a musician,
Yeah.
and I kind of go, "Well, it's weird for me because I had those conversations with people, and I'm doing something that some people would want to do as a job, and then you kind of go, well, actually, my first passion was as a bike rider.
Yeah.
I fell in love with cycling. I wonder if I could have made it. And okay, granted, I'm not 68 kilos, but if I
Right.
was, you kind of go, well, that maybe
We're also not 20 years old,
that too,
It's
precisely.
like there's a
There's
lot.
actually some questions here, hang
Okay.
on, let me read these. So what does it say? Brendan, no worries, mate. Amazing job so far. You're absolutely smashing it and inspiring me. Likewise, man. I love your videos too. Brilliant. Beast has said, have you cried as much as the riders during the actual tour? Um, I will be honest with you. I have had. I'm glad I've been wearing my Oakleys every day. There's been a couple of moments where I've been quite moved by. So
I
yesterday, for
bet.
example, I had like Portishead Cycling Club had sponsored a stage and said to all of their riders, if you want to go and ride with James on this day, we've paid like the sponsorship for the stage, and you can just go and ride it. And um, 4 people from Portishead Cycling Club turned up. Stefan, who's waving on the chat, his
Hmm.
wife came and rode yesterday, and there was a moment when we were just cruising through between 2 climbs. I can't remember exactly where we were, but out on the Mendips, and I was off the back a little bit. I just kind of sat up. I think I just had some food or something, and I was kind of looking at my father-in-law and these 4 other riders, and they're all chatting away. They sort of didn't 3 of them knew each other well, the other 2 didn't, and
Yeah.
it was just
You could
kind of,
see it.
yeah. And I just thought these, you know they've given up their time, like 4 hours of their day, to sort of come out and ride with me. I know they're riding their bikes and they're having fun and stuff, but it really touched me. And there've been sort of multiple times when I've kind of just, it sort of hit me a bit. So short answer is maybe not as much as some of them, but yeah, I have had my moments, to be honest, with that side of things. Jenny came and rode the TT on stage 5 with me. So, and Stefan, who's given me the wave, he's coming and riding like some nasty stages with me next week and the week after.
Nice.
So, yeah, we'll see about that. So Jenny said, "Is your first 30-minute muffin on the first 30 minutes?" No, I start my first gel an hour in. So I'm pretty sure that what I've had in the morning and residual kind of fueling will get me through that first hour. So I have some water in the first hour, and then on hour 1, I have my first gel. So
do you just drink to taste on water on like thirst?
I try and get through 750 mils in 2 hours, which is a little under what I'd like. If I had a car with me, I'd try and get through 500 mils an hour. Yeah. So it's a little under what I'd like, but I try and make sure I'm well hydrated in the morning to kind of, start to the point where on some rides it's been like, should we stop quickly for a wee? And we've had to do that like twice or 3 times in the first hour because I'm like overhydrated. It probably is. That's Andy Gill. He's the one who we have to keep stopping for wees. So Tim has said, really struggle with gels. Someone suggested pork pies. They went down a tree. I don't like pork pies. I got to say, Tim was supposed to be riding with me on Friday and broke his collarbone in training, like the end of last week. And I'm so sorry about that, Tim. Honestly, I feel bad. He broke his chain coming out of a junction, and just the chain went, and he went over and broke his collarbone. But he's going to meet us anyway en route on the Friday. Some people have stepped in very kindly and stepped in to kind of to bridge that gap that Tim's left. He's got the most amazing calves you've ever seen. Like they're honestly, they're incredible. Massive calf envy. That's the end of the question. Oh, did I do any specific mental training? Just all of last year was mental training for this. Like every day that we went through last year, not just with Beck's cancer, but also with COVID and homeschooling and having to try and transfer everything online with uni. All of that stuff was the whole purpose of this is to just to clear the decks with that. Like I haven't said this on any of the videos actually, but the Wednesday before I started on the Saturday, we've been waiting for 2 results for Beck's. One was a mammogram to see how well the surgery and the chemo had done, and the other one was this thing called a BRCA gene, which is this gene that some people carry, that if you get the type of cancer Beck's had, is that the likelihood of it coming back is really, really high. So it would mean a lot more surgery, and like a huge amount of surgery to kind of remove the breasts and a hysterectomy and stuff. And in the same day, like within an hour, we got the all clear from the mammogram and we got the all clear from the BRCA gene thing. And it was just like this, it just suddenly, like Bex just literally went to sleep, and she's been sleeping for like hours. She's having a nap now because we didn't realize how much it had been just like buzzing in our heads. So that was amazing news to start the Grand Tour with. And then like this, when I finish this, like that's it, like we're done with last year. So that was the mental prep, Tim, to be honest, man. Like and I'm pretty tough dude anyway in terms of just getting on with stuff. I'm pretty good at just switching my brain down and just kind of knowing, well, I know this is what we've got to do and we need to get there. I think that's kind of upbringing a lot of the time, isn't it? It's just things that you've done in the past. I'm envious I can't be part of this, but that's all right. We'll go out for a ride. There's a few people that have kind of been, it sounds like it's cursed in a way, like 2 people have broken their collarbones training for this. And we've had a couple of people that have been really badly injured, and a couple of people with like cancer diagnoses that couldn't, like it's just been one of those things where every day there's been like an email from somebody but that's just a testament to the amount of people that have supported this and said that they'd come and do stuff. There's so many people that things are gonna kind of come back on it, and everybody that can't do something, like we'll go for a ride like this. It's we'll always go out for, I'm always up for going for a ride. It's great fun. So
do you think you'll take a break after this and not touch the bike for like a week, or are you going to be like, I took one day off and I kind of feel like I need to spin the legs out? Or
I don't know. Did you know Mark Beaumont went for a bike ride the day after he finishes around the world?
Did he really?
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't surprise me. Yeah. It's hard to stop. It's hard to turn it off.
Yeah, yeah. I think partially it's kind of like you kind of have. It's a bit like a rest day. I'd really stiffen up, and I'm looking forward to getting in the pool, and I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
running. I'm looking forward to running,
Yeah.
but I'm also looking forward to. I want to focus in on TTing again because I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that up at Castle Combe the other night.
That was a question I had for you. Was that your favorite day so far? Or do you have a
Oh.
favorite day so far? It kind of looked like that was the most fun from the video, but it's so hard to tell.
It was nice because it was over quickly, and it was good to kind
Yeah.
of like to ride for 4 days hard and then go and manage to hold 38k an hour or something for 24 and a bit minutes, 25 minutes, and kind of go, oh, it feels okay, and maybe I want to focus in on that after this is finished. I do
Yeah.
want to I want to get my weight, like really focus on getting my weight down and really see if I can get a 10-mile PB by the end of the season.
That'd be
And
cool.
get back on the TT bike a bit, and some of that will involve me doing long rides. So, and
Yeah.
I've got a nice bike. So,
Yeah.
favorite one though. Oh,
You don't have to give. You don't have to
I
give
don't
an
think
answer.
I can. I don't think
I
I
don't think
can.
it's. But you just maybe say like whatever's coming up, man, because you've got a whole bunch of interesting rides coming up for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're scared of coming up?
Yeah, all of them. I reckon all the ones in Brecon are giving
Right.
me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. There's like it's just there's never like any respite. You're either going up, and it takes me so long to go up because I'm crap at climbing. Yeah, and the descents are not long enough to recover. So you just like around here in the Mendips, you might be climbing for like, I don't know. I don't even know how long Cheddar is. That's probably like the longest one, or Burrington. Maybe it's, I don't know. What is it, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes? I haven't got a clue. But like the descent is like 8 minutes. So, it's not long enough to recover. It's a bit like doing 400-meter repeats on the track or something where you're only doing 30 seconds or 45 seconds recovery. Like you only have so many of those in you. You get to like 12 of them and you're throwing up. And you don't get that recovery really. So I've been finding myself cheating a bit on the descents and like just holding back on the descents to get more recovery. So I am nervous about Brecon.
Well, I know that there were some routes where you were deciding like you could go different directions based, and there were some very steep climbs that you were thinking like, well, you could switch it out and avoid it. Have you given it more thought? Or I know you did some recon. I did, for sure.
Yeah. The one I'm doing with Stefan, which is, I've done the first bit of it. I did it. It was the one I made a video about in Tirabad. It goes through the military training center, which is, it's just a mental place.
It's cool.
And it's really, really hilly at the beginning, and then it goes through Bethlehem, which is which I thought would be a cool route to go through this place called Bethlehem in Wales. And getting in and out of Bethlehem is like there's one road that it's only about 150 meters, but it's 20%, and
that's like a wall.
It is, yeah. And I just thought I don't really want to do that. So I rerouted it today actually. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's much flatter in the back section now then. So I've tried to front load it with the climbs, not like in the Grand Tours,
Right.
I don't
mountaintop.
Yeah, I'm not really up for any of that. It's like, let's do the mountains and then let's just like TT our way home. So yeah.
That's cool. So what is there any course, like, are you looking forward to those courses? Or, I mean, is it kind of one of those things where it's like scary, but also looking forward to it? I don't know. Or is there a different course in the future that you're like, yes, that's the one that I'm the most pumped up about?
I'm excited about the ones that I've done that I know. So like Black Mountain's a fantastic climb.
Yeah.
Like if anyone that's watching or listening to this has never ridden in the Brecon Beacons, just drive over and drive to a place called Llandovery and do the ride. Harry Palmer loves this route as well. It takes you past the Usk Reservoir, which if you watch the intro to the that I made for the videos, that's all filmed on the road from the Usk Reservoir. And then it takes you to the bottom of Black Mountain, and it's one of the best climbs in the world. Like you don't have to go to the Alps or the Pyrenees. It's like that is just a spectacular climb. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think that's part of. I'm just sorry, I've got it all on my board over here.
I know.
But,
glance at the list, man.
That's like, I'm looking forward to it. it's the Queen stage. So stage 17, that'll be on. Hang on. Yeah, I think I made that on Bastille Day, so the 14th of July, I think
Cool.
that is. So, and that's like 2,000 meters of climbing and 110K. So that's a big day out. I'm kind of looking forward to it though, because I love Black Mountain so much. I went up there in 2015 with a bunch of mates. We were on a training camp over there. It's the first time I'd ever really ridden anything like that, and it blew my mind a bit. I probably went
Yeah.
up it a bit hard then, and kind of since then I've been like trying to work out how to climb,
Beat it.
because
Yeah.
it's a skill for sure.
Oh yeah. How about weather? Has weather been an issue? Are you paying close attention to like the forecast for the next week?
I am in as much as clothing. Like that's been the hardest thing. I haven't really got a good rain jacket that isn't like a boil in the bag thing, you know.
Right.
That's what I do. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? And taking it with you, particularly if you know it's going to rain later, because you're out on the bike 4 or 5 hours and you kind of go, oh well, you know, it's going to rain in the last hour, so you ride around with a rain jacket in your pocket. You don't want to wear it until then, but then, you know, I've only been caught in one big storm, and that was like 2K away from home. And yesterday, just the heavens, like the end of the video from yesterday, it's just like you can see it. We were 2K from home, and it's like that's okay, but it'll be what it will be as long as I don't get cold. That'll be fine. Yeah, so it's a clothing thing, really. We've had the wind already, and we've had a bit of rain. So
how does it look going forward?
I haven't looked yet, man. That's like I'm going to do that when oh yeah, I don't know.
Put your feet
probably
up. Probably
awful.
No, maybe not.
Let's see what tomorrow. Let's have a look very quickly. So tomorrow it looks like.
Oh no.
Okay, so Tuesday, it's just okay. So raining, 15 degrees, and then 20-mile-an-hour winds and rain. Yeah,
it's the wind, man. It's the wind that's tough.
I'll have a look at the direction, but I'm riding with who am I riding with tomorrow? What day is it tomorrow? Andy Gill. He's bigger than me, so he can just sit on the front all the way. So we'll be fine. We'll get around it. But yeah, it'll be 20-mile-an-hour winds. That's kind of like anything above 10 mile an hour. I start to go. That's going to affect us, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just relentless. Is the hardest part. Is you know.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can see the end of a climb. And with the wind, it's like it's just never ending.
Yeah. So. And then it does that weird thing where, you know, you kind of go, well, we're going to turn, you know, east, and then we're going to go south. And we've had this headwind into the north the whole time. And then you think, well, we'll go south and it'll be fine. And then you get this like cross headwind from the south, because you realize it's actually been coming in at this angle the whole way. So then you kind of go this way, and it just never stops. You get that
just like disheartening.
Yeah. But that's, if it was easy, it would be boring.
True.
It's, you know, you don't have these problems in the pool, do you? You know, I mean, you get waves and stuff, but you know, it's no uphill swimming.
Yeah, you get a little bit in running, but it's much worse in cycling.
It is, yeah. You're right. With running, it's fine. Like the only time I've ever really noticed it in running is we have this thing called the prom run, which I really missed it last year during lockdown. But we have this 8-mile run, 8K run, 5-mile run every. Do you know, I've even forgotten what day it was on. I think it was a Thursday. I forget. But every month there would be this run from May to September, and it's the only time I've ever seen echelons in running.
Yeah.
So it's right on the seafront, and it's like a 2K loop to get the 8K, and you know, and people would be running from like one shelter that along the front. They'd be kind of like running in this echelon. I've never seen it before anywhere else, but yeah, it definitely had that going on. It's quite funny, really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, the main thing, right, is it's hammering it down with rain now. Yeah, absolutely. Like stacking it down with rain now. Yeah, so hopefully it'll blow itself out. But
there you go.
You know, the main thing is that really the you know, all the personal stuff aside, like the most important thing has been kind of getting the money in the pot for the charity, and we're like 200 quid off £10,000. So,
oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
No, I can't either. Really,
it's awesome.
I had sort of set the goal at £5,000 to begin with this idea in my head that. You don't want to set it at 10 grand and then raise like £1,000, do you?
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true. But I
So
think you did it right. You hit your 5, and then you raised it to, I think you raised it to
just
7 or 8,
yeah,
and then you were
I
like,
just did it at
and then
grand.
you passed that, and then you're like, all right, let's make 10 our goal. And you even mentioned somewhere like that was kind of the goal originally, or it was the back of your mind originally, which is an awesome goal.
It was,
And
it was
it's just, I think it's a perfect event because you have some time to raise the money, and it's for a perfect cause. I mean, I don't know, it all just came together so well.
Yeah, it has been a lot of work. It's been like I was joking with a friend of mine the other day. I was saying I think because it's basically been like 6 months of hardcore work on this to get the roots. Yeah, it has been like a secondary job, and I reckon if I'd thrown all of this work into earning as much money from commercial video work as I possibly could in 6 months, I reckon I could have earned 20 grand and just paid that in the pot myself. So I'd be, the same amount of hours. But where's the challenge in that?
Yeah, this is different. This is a whole different thing, and it's an amazing experience. And I know that, like, speaking as like one of the fans and one of the people, obviously I'm not getting the chance to ride with you on this event, but like, I think that it's good for everyone involved. And it's like, if you had just done this kind of on your own and, done commercial work and put some money into a charity, like quietly, like that would have been awesome. That would have been great. But this is just like, yes, you're doing all the work. You've done a ton of work to get everything set up, but all of us get the benefit of it, which is like, even more that people are getting to ride with you and things like that. Like, we get to be a part of this thing too. And I think it's awesome. And everyone knows that it's for a good cause. So
yeah. I think that's exactly it. I've kind of, some old friendships have been kind of rekindled. I've got new friends out of this that I didn't have before. I've gained a lot of, and people have met each other that have stayed in contact with each other, that have ridden together and stuff. And, that's a really important aspect of just life, not just this event thing. It's just an important part of it that, it really, really stands out to me, that it is a powerful thing at times to kind of be able to, just sort of be around other humans and chat to them and listen to them and learn their life stories and stuff. And yeah, it's very cool. It is not from my perspective. I just mean like, human beings are cool is what I mean. People have stepped up, man. Like, if I think about it too much, it kind of, I probably have a chance afterwards to have a really good think about it. But some of the things that people have done have just been above and beyond anything that I would have asked of anybody at any point, where they've just kind of just gone, yeah, what do you need, man? Like, my friend Stu, he manages a company that does embroidery and t-shirts and stuff, and they made these bags that if some of the rides again, because I haven't, and that's embroidered on, like, he's even got
turned out really well.
It's amazing. But like him and the team that are doing this, they were working till 11 o'clock on Friday night to get it ready for. And it's like, this is just a friend of ours from school, who's known Bex since they were like 12. And he was like, what do you need, man? Like, he's got hoodies for the kids and t-shirts. And,
cool.
And they just done it. And it's not just him. There's been loads of other people that have done stuff. And it's what? There's a lot of really horrible stuff going on in the world. Like, I see stuff like, I hear like the England football fans booing the German national anthem and booing the athletes taking a knee, and I see all this stuff on social media and stuff, and it makes you kind of feel depressed about what
about
the
humanity.
world. Yeah, and then actually you look on your doorstep at the people that are around you, and actually, most people are all right. It's just this minority, and it's good to remind yourself of that sometimes, I think. And this has really helped me 100%. With that. So,
yeah,
mate, I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I know like you're probably like sneaking off from working for Nike right now, aren't you? You're supposed
to be
probably. Yeah, they're doing something for designing some sort of website thing for their trainers or something. But mate, thank you very very much.
Thanks thanks for chatting with me too. Yeah, this is awesome, because I feel pretty honored to be able to kind of like grill you with questions that I have for you at your current spot in the, you know, in the tour and get all the details. I feel pretty lucky. So
well, it's hugely appreciated from my perspective. I don't have many answers, but it has been a learning experience. And the next rest day, I'm going to be in Brecon, and I don't know what the internet's going to be like. So I'll have to see how we get on with the internet.
Yeah, we can just try
it, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone that kind of was, you know, there was actually some people watching it. I thought it was just going to be you and me, mate. But
and then down in the description, you'll be sure to leave all the details on where people can look and find stuff and get, you know, donate the website for that and everything, all the details.
Of course. Thanks. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it very, very much.
Yep.
And I'll see you in a week, if not before, man.
Sounds great. All right. Good luck with everything. Yep.
Thanks.